Greetings, friends and esteemed adventurers. Welcome back to part 4 of Stalker, Skald of Yuskaya. In the last episode, we took care of the Orcish mines as well as the last few floors of the dungeon. We went back and explored a vault where we found this wonderful ring of robustness, as you can see here. So we also have a source of our core. So I think I'm going to go back to layer 6 and I should be able to take care of that entropy weaver now. Now that we have our core, that shouldn't be too big a deal. I still don't want to deal with this Death Knight and the Skeletal Warrior by them together, so I'm not. There's actually another Skeletal Warrior. I didn't realize there were two. Actually, was the lair here? Yeah, the lair's on this floor. Okay. Oops. We'll walk into this teleport trap just because we can. Alright, lair. Lair 6. There we go. Okay, so we may not even run into him. He may have wandered off at this point, but we couldn't kill him earlier, and he was guarding our treasure vault, so that's needs to change. We need to, take care of that. So we're going to. And alrighty, this is going much better. Wonderful. Okay, and since he was polymorph from Deep Troll, he dropped some Deep Troll armor. Okay, so we found a slimy cloak, but that's about it. That could be good. We'll see. We'll go ahead and drop our ring of flight. If we really need it, we'll come back. Our cloak has magic resistance. Let's see. You finish putting on the +1 cloak of experimentation. Our poise, strength +3, and dex +2. So, I'm thinking I don't want that because I'd rather have the magic resistance on our cloak. And we can get poison resistance from a ring if we need it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that. It's not very good. Oh, we do have poison or have cold resistance. I was worried about that earlier. I didn't realize. I forgot we have this chainmail. So, okay. So that said, we are going to move on, and we are going to go into some rune vaults. Specifically, I'd like to do Snake Pit. We probably have enough MR to do shoals, but I don't want to. I hate shoals. So what I'm gonna probably do is I'll probably do the first 3 floors of Snake Pit, and then switch over to the first 3 floors of shoals, unless this goes exceedingly well, which it very well could. I'm gonna keep the ring of poison resistance on basically for all of Snake Pit. Okay, I don't love this spot. I'm gonna come back here to where I can fight them a little bit more one-on-one. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to keep this ring of poison resistance on for basically all of Snake, because pretty much everything in here can poison us. Naga mages here, their biggest worry is teleport other. Our MR is high enough that it basically can't do anything, so that's not going to be able to do much of anything to us. We have 2 regular Nagas and a Naga warrior. The Naga warrior can definitely deal some DPS, but not too worried. Not with our crazy regen. Yuskaya helping us out, and our vampiric. Did we just get teleport trapped? Oh my gosh, they landed the 1% teleport? That's incredible. I've never seen that happen, not with a 1% success. Well, that's what happens in crawl sometimes. Not too big a deal. Obviously, it didn't teleport us into anything too bad, but as I think was made fairly obvious there, that can be super scary. I had a merfolk a long time ago get teleported on Snake 4 right into the rune vault, like literally in the middle of the rune vault. So that was really bad. I do kind of want that ring. Even though I don't think it's going to be anything good, I think it's probably worth keeping. Let's try it on. I have a feeling this is going to be like Cursed Ring of Loudness or something, but yeah, Cursed Ring of Loudness. So we'll go ahead and remove that, and we'll put our poison resistance back on. So, in the early levels of Snake, the biggest dangers are like I said, usually Naga mages are pretty scary with their whole teleport you randomly across the map feature. But the other thing, so I guess not so much an early snake, but a little bit later, something. Oh, never mind. I thought that was something invisible. A little bit later on, one of the dangers we're going to run into is guardian serpents, and so we're going to have to figure out a way to deal with them. But right now, we'll just start clearing. So far, it's going quite well. One kind of good thing about snake is you're faster than all the nagas. We are not faster than the snakes themselves. So like a black mamba, we're slower than that. But all the nagas are slower than us. So we can always walk away. Let our how much regen do we have? Let our 1.44 regen per turn kind of kick in, help us out, and life's good. So, do we have random effects that we can drop? We don't. What do I want to drop? Could drop the lightning rod. We could also drop our poison needles. I guess I probably don't expect to use those. So let's try to put this ring on. Again, it's probably going to be junk. +1 of evasion. I don't see any reason to keep that. Not when the rings we have are plenty good. Okay, so this is an anaconda. Not a huge deal, but it can constrict, which does ongoing damage. So I'm actually going to polymorph this because it has fairly low MR, and we should be able to get it to land. And a Great Orb of Eyes is a lot better. Now, normally it's not a lot better. That could have been really bad, but our MR is high enough that that shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. We'll just go ahead and kill it. And we saved ourselves a lot of extra damage from the anaconda. Another reason I wanted to do that, and actually like the specific reason that I did that, is if we need to run, if you are constricted, it'll stop you from going up the stairs. Okay, so a little bit of a scarier pack. These Naga warriors, especially when they have a shield, they're quite tanky. As you saw there, it was getting pretty hard to hit. Luckily, that's again kind of what Yusuke is for. I'm not going to use the polymorphs for anything else, so I'll just polymorph the anacondas. Alright, and we'll go ahead and penetrate this vault. There's our guardian serpent. Like I said, those can be quite scary. They have this blink allies encircling ability. So if you're like out in the open and they use that, it will literally blink everything into a circle around you and you'll be surrounded. Now, Yusuke helps a lot with that because as we gain piety, as we fight that kind of stuff, there's a good chance that they'll all just go to sleep and we'll get a bunch of stabs. But yeah, something to think about. We've got a Nagaraja here. These guys are kind of like mages on steroids. So they can do 27 damage, plus a club doesn't really do anything, and constrict. So they can constrict us, slow us down, do a lot of damage. They can do teleport other at a much higher chance than Naga mages. They can haste. So that's actually pretty scary. Let's go ahead and take care of the Guardian Serpent while we kind of can. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to take this Nagaraja into safer terrain. Just like all Nagas, they are slower. So now that I have him by himself, he shouldn't be too big a deal. He was able to land that teleport. There wasn't much we could do about it. And we've gotten him. Okay, so wait, how many unread scrolls do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that mean one of those has to be acquirement? We can hit /- to see what we've already found. No, we have a lot more scrolls to find. Okay, never mind. I didn't realize we had that many. I guess we didn't need to polymorph the anacondas. They're quite easy for us to kill. That's just a run-of-the-mill Naga Mage, not a Nagaraja. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and read these two scrolls. Scroll of Summoning. Okay. So, Scroll of Summoning is a really nice consumable to have. It basically casts shadow creatures. So we could use that in one of the like the Rune Vault for lots of extra things to help us fight. Can use that in Zot to summon some Draconians or possibly a Moth of Wrath. Just lots of allies. It's really nice if you want to break LOS of something, like for example a Lich, and make the Lich attack your allies instead of you. So I'm really happy to have found summoning. So we have two sharpshooters. Similar to centaurs, I'm going to pull these back, just kind of back here. We do have quite a bit of reflection with our shield. I think that's how shields work. But we have reflection on our shield and reflection on our amulet. And so as we walk away, they'll take damage. Now, just like other Nagas, we're faster than them. So, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so that's a shock serpent. And these are actually usually pretty scary. You can see they bite for 20 and then deal 15 extra elect damage if any damage is dealt. So that can be quite scary. We do have our elect, so it won't be that bad. Plus we have this nice little hallway, and I'm not too worried. There we go. Yiskiya puts everyone to sleep, and we fight our way out. You know, I had read stories about Stalker of Usk, and I did not realize quite how effective it is. I mean, it's just working perfectly. It's so strong. I had no idea. Now I'm going to say that and die to something dumb. Which is why I'm really taking things... I'm not really taking things real slow, but I am pulling things back into strategic spots. Even though in a lot of these cases I wouldn't need to, I just don't want to die. I really don't. We found a Book of the Dragon earlier, right? Yeah, which I love. This is another book that I love. It's got Dragon's Call, which just summons dragons, and it's awesome. And Dragon Form, which is another one of my favorite spells. Merfolk Transmuter with the Dragon Form is just sick damage output. So Book of the Tempests, that has all the really high level, not conjurations, but the high level elemental spells, as you can see. It doesn't have Firestorm, but Tornado and Shatter. We're not a blaster caster, so I'm just going to drop that. Okay, and we have found some Randart gloves. I'm going to go ahead and put these on. Let's not keep disrobing while we have a Naga in our wake. Not a Naga, a Black Mamba. Oh my heavens, look at those gloves. The +1 pair of gloves, Isman. 2 pips of our neg. Regen plus our core and slay +2. Holy mother. Those are so good. We're now regenning 1.84 per turn. We don't have our elemental resists yet, which is unfortunate, but nothing in here is going to cause too much elemental damage. So here I'm not worried about it. Significantly more worried about that later on. Like vaults, depths, shoals, not so much. So we have plenty of room to find elemental resist. It'll suck to have to move rings around a bunch, but if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. We'll throw our javelins at things while they come to us. And then we'll go ahead and just kill these. And there we go. Yiskiya coming in the clutch. And a fine war axe. Don't much care about that. At this point, our base AC is pretty high and our base dodging is pretty low. So I think I'm going to turn off dodging. I'll turn on armor back on. Short blades is about to max out. That's quite nice. And then the question is, do I want to go to 15 for a larger shield? And I think the answer is probably not, but we'll see. I may just end up doing fighting armor and evocations, but I don't know. I usually don't train evocations. However, on this character who's pretty strong as is and doesn't require very much weapon skill, I think it's worth training. I think the wands are gonna end up being useful. Like, you know, for example here on this shock serpent, Not too big a deal for us because we're really strong, but if we wanted, we could paralyze it and then stab it because we have relatively good evocations training. Alright, let's pull these back. Yeah, those Naga warriors are super tanky, as you saw there. We have reached level 17. That's nice. Scroll of Enchant Weapon. We'll sink that into our rapier again. That is almost maxed out. Found a couple scrolls of Identify. Let's go ahead and identify our amulet. The Amulet of Wishful Thinking has RLEC, RF+, and Inaccuracy. So, I kind of love this amulet, but I kind of hate it. I don't like Inaccuracy at all. We're going to keep it just because it has RF+, and if we don't find a source of RF, eventually we have to have RF. We'll take Inaccuracy for RF like later in Zot. So I'll keep that in mind. I hope I never have to use it, but that's a source of RF, and it's not a Ring of Fire, which is probably the worst source of RF you can have. Okay. There, I was going to say, where are they? Nagaraja again, just like last time. Actually quite a tough enemy for our very fast rapier, which is attacking at 0.5. We just don't worry about these things. Okay, so another Guardian Serpent. Again, he can blink things around us to surround us. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of him as soon as possible. And then I'll just go ahead and use Line of Sight to our advantage for the rest of these. I gotta say, this Yuskiya is making me want to play like Vampire Enchanter of Yuskiya. I think that would be super fun. I like Vampire Enchanter anyway. There's a Cacodemon in there? That better be a closed vault, otherwise that's just brutal. Okay, and that time we actually walked into a teleport trap, so that was different. I was gonna say, if we got teleport othered for the third time for 1%, I was gonna be, I don't know if upset is the word, but seriously impressed. But yeah, I think that's a vault with the Cacodemon. If not, then that's a really brutal vault. Oh, we just got a bunch of IDs. Okay, so we'll ID our potions, cancellation, nice. And then some scrolls, Scroll of Silence, and Scroll of Torment. Yeah, that's a vault and a rune door. Oh, those aren't Cacodemons, they're green deaths. Okay, so let me XV that. That shouldn't be any issue. The whole vault shouldn't be any issue, honestly, but there's nothing in there, right? There's just gold and a junky pair of gloves. I guess there could be something interesting there, because we can't see that spot. I don't really feel like risking that. It's probably fine, but let's not. So we'll go ahead and open up our notepad. We've done those other two. Rune door, snake 3, 2 green deaths, and Nagas. Okay. Alright, so I know I said I was going to do the first 3 levels of Snake, but this has gone really well. So I think I'm actually going to just go straight to Snake 4, and we'll see. We'll take this kind of slow, and we'll see if I want to continue with Snake 4, I may just bail, but we're gonna see. So what happened there, I tried to go back up the stairs, but we were constricted, which stops you from moving. So I killed the Naga that was constricting me, and then went back up the stairs, just so the noise of battle didn't bring in too many extra enemies that I didn't want to have to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to slow down a little bit, just because we could very easily become overwhelmed in Snake 4. Now I'm pretty sure I've done this exact Snake 4 layout, and I think the entrance to the rune vault is like over here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear up this way. I could be totally wrong, but if it's the one I'm thinking of, then that's 100% right. A Che altar in the snake pit. That's kind of ironic, because Naga of Che is a meme. A meme that I would love to try one day, but a meme nonetheless. Alright, lots of Nagas. We don't really have a hallway to work with. They have pole arms, so the hallway wouldn't matter all that much. Alright, gonna keep exploring kind of up here. Definitely want to keep all of our avenues of running away open. Yep, and I was right. So this is our rune vault. Stuff can, it's not a rune door, stuff can come through that door if it hears us. So that's something that we'll want to keep in mind. We did just get another enchant weapon, so we'll go ahead and max out our rapier. And we also have an enchant armor, so we'll go ahead and enchant our buckler. Because now that we have a +2 buckler, or a buckler of reflection, I think that is absolutely worth maxing out because it's so strong. Okay, so it looks like we've cleared everything except our rune vault. We are very hungry, so we'll go ahead and eat some flesh. And let's go ahead and clear this exception, and we'll start clearing this. Yep, I have seen this exact one. It shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to kill like 3 Nagarajas at once, I think, but we should be able to split them up, and they should be alright. Alright, let's split up the anacondas. We don't want to be constricted all over the place, taking loads of extra damage. And because, you know, taking extra damage in general is just not good. Okay, so this is what I was talking about those guardian serpents. We're totally surrounded. Now, luckily, we are against a wall, so instead of 9 enemies around us, or 8 rather, we have 5. Now, I'm actually not hugely worried about this because we're Usk, and Usk very likely is going to put all these things to sleep. Now, Usk is very likely going to put, all these things to sleep, I was going to say. He should be. Okay, and we're going to use this opportunity to kind of back away. We just got hit pretty hard with a Mystic Blast by this Nagaraja. So let's try to get our vamp going and heal up a little bit. And Usk is now at max piety, so we could conceivably just take something out if we wanted to. There's nothing here that's really super scary. Nothing here. There's not a guardian serpent. If there was, I'd probably take that out just so I don't get surrounded again. Let's go down here. And then let's go ahead and we'll grand finale on the Nagaraja. We'll just get rid of him. That'll let us reset this fight a little bit as well. It looked like Yiskia wasn't paralyzing our foes while we had max piety, so I think that was worth using. And this is quite an onslaught. If we didn't have the regen or the vamp that we have, this would be significantly scarier. But the more Nagas we kill, the less are guarding our rune. Okay, we're gonna eat a ration just because we're running out of food. Okay, so here's another bunch of Nagas, 2 Guardian Serpents. We're almost certainly gonna be surrounded. Yep, there it goes. So now we'll come over here. We still only have 4 casts of our Wand of Clouds. I was gonna say it would be really useful here, but we really don't need it. We're plenty strong enough to deal with this. I'd much rather save it for later on, like in depths or vaults or something like that. Now that is like crawl 101. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to save your consumables for an eventuality that may not happen. But like I said, I was just considering using it because it would like hit everything. But it totally wasn't necessary. I didn't need to use a consumable. It was just a shower thought, as they say. Alright, so how are we doing on training? We've got evocations at 9. Our short blades have maxed out at 14 min delay. Fighting's going up, armor's going up. We'll focus fighting just for that health, because as we move along in this game, we're going to start running into things that can do more damage in one hit. So a lot of what we're dealing with right now does like low amounts of damage, but a lot. So like I'm getting hit by 50 enemies for small amounts of damage. And so we mitigate that really well because we have regen and we have 36 AC. We have our shield, which can block a good portion of it. Evasion will dodge a good portion of it. But none of that really matters when we run into like a juggernaut and get hit 80. Obviously it helps, but for that we just want more health. We just want to make sure that we can't just all of a sudden blow up, which has happened to me on a Spriggan. So that's why I'm training fighting, or focusing fighting rather. I don't think I posted it, but I have a recording of a Spriggan enchanter that he gets hit like 49 damage by a stone giant in orc mines, and I think it one-shot me from the health I was at. I was running away at like 3/4 health because that's just how Spriggans roll. You just run from everything. And I just got absolutely demolished. All of a sudden I was just dead because a stone giant walked around the corner and threw a giant rock at me for basically max damage. And so the fact that we're about to get a rune and we have barely 100 health, it just makes me a little bit nervous. And it would appear, yep, there's our rune. We have completed the snake pit. So let's move on to shoals. I can't stand shoals. However, we do have a pretty good tool set for it. We have a 32% invis. Most things in shoals can't see invis. I shouldn't say that because I don't know that that's unequivocally true, but it's generally true. A lot of things here can't see invis, so we can use invis to get out of things. For example, this can't see invis, so we'll just go invis. Wait. There we go. I don't think we can invis in water though, right? Yeah, we're splashing around, so the Naga or the merfolk can hear. So yeah, we do have a decent tool set though. We also have very good MR. So I think we'll be able to handle this. I have died so many times in shoals just to being mesmerized and things like that that I actually consider a lot of times just diving it, going straight for the rune. But on this character, I don't think we need to. You do have to be quite careful with LOS because of things like mesmerize. Hey, Wand of Acid. Okay, that's really nice. Let's drop our polymorph. It only has 2 charges anyway, and it's unlikely to see any use at this point. So yeah, shoals can be super annoying because of mesmerize, because of being netted, because of water. You can fumble your attacks in water. So yeah, I can't stand this place. We're just gonna do our best. I think we're gonna make it. I say that, and then I'm probably gonna die to something dumb, but I think we have everything we need to do well in here. Let's pick up this throwing. Can we? Do we have any room? No, we don't even have room for food. Rip my life. We'll go ahead and read these duplicate scrolls. Scroll of noise. So we'll go ahead and just use both of those real fast. We'll grab our food. And then do we have anything that we could just drop? Like a random effect maybe? We could drop Wand of Flame. The Wand of Flame could actually see use here in shoals. Let's go ahead and drop our chainmail. If we really need cold resistance, we can come back for it. But our plate armor is so good that I just don't think it's going to be necessary. We just reflected the net back at the merfolk. That's awesome. And then, are we waiting for anything? Yeah, we can go buy that armor if we want. We may do that. So, yeah, I hate shoals. Stuff just gets in your way. It's super annoying. You get netted or you get mesmerized. You get engulfed. Yeah, I die in here all the time. But we should make it. We're just going to do our best. Okay, shoals 1 is complete. We'll move on. This reflection's really nice. Reflecting sling bullets, reflecting nets. I still hate attacking in the water, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. Alright, so Harpies is the other thing that a polymorph is actually pretty good on. They have very low hit dice, so a lot of times you'll polymorph them into something that's not so flippin' fast. So, gonna pull these back. Here's an example of why shoals can be quite annoying, because we were netted there. So we're just going to go back up. We're going to kill this elemental. We'll heal back up, and then we can go back down. And again, we'll just come back up and pull things up one at a time if we can. Okay. So I'm going to take care of these water elementals. You see we have this engulf debuff. That does damage to us because we can't breathe right now. It also makes it so I think it makes it so we can't read scrolls. But as soon as they die, that goes away. So. Okay, so this is an alligator snapping turtle. We talked about snapping turtles previously. I don't remember if this was on this character or a different one. Alligator snapping turtles are way worse. They can hit up to 50, which is obviously pretty high. And they can do it from 2 squares away. So kind of like an orc warrior with a polearm, they're hard to run from. Now, that one didn't matter. It was just the one. But you have to be careful because, obviously, if you run into a swarm of them or it's behind something else, definitely don't want to be caught in a really bad spot. Alright, nets for days. Manticore, yet another thing that can pin you in here. Have I mentioned I don't like shoals? The whole place is designed to make it so you can't move. We'll go ahead and read this enchant armor. We'll enchant our buckler again. We'll read this identify as well. Oh, we've got 2 of them. Wonderful. Scroll of Fear. Nice. And a Potion of Might. Finally we find Might. Could definitely see using Might against like a Titan or a Juggernaut or Caustic Strikes, something like that. And we learned in the Ghoul Warper that Caustic Strikes are very scary. So I will not make that mistake again. Okay, so water nymphs can actually be really scary. They can do this water strike ability, which it affects targets standing in or flying above water. which normally you'd think, oh, you just don't go on the water, but water nymphs make their own water. So we're in water right now, and they can cast that ability. So when you get, more than just one of them, they tend to do quite a bit of damage. Now, again, our defenses are extremely solid right now with 36 AC, our shield, lots of reflection, lots of regen, and we have a vampiric rapier. So our defenses are really good, but those are things that I still need to think about. I can't take our defenses for granted. Okay, so that was a wand of random effects. I will drop that. At this point in the game, I just don't ever see that being useful. We'll put on this Peridot ring for poison resistance. Oh, cool, we got protection from cold. And I just realized we probably don't need poison resistance in here, so let's go ahead and switch over to magical power just for our guardian spirit. I don't know that that's really doing much of anything, but maybe it is. We're mesmerized, so we can't back out of this mesmerize. We could use some consumable like a scroll of fog or scroll of blink, but we don't need to. It's just the one, and so we can just fight through some plants to kill it. Shoals 2 complete. This is where I wish I had apportation trained and usable. We could have apported that net before before the merfolk broke out of it. Have like 7 throwing nets. That'd be pretty cool. Windrake. We'll go ahead and pull that back. They're kind of like elephants. They'll just knock you out of position. So if you're trying to get up a staircase and there's a Windrake right there, good chance they're just going to knock you off the staircase. Super annoying. Okay, so we've got a potion shop. Let's see what we find. Come on, potion of experience. Nope. The question is, do we want any of that? I think I'll go ahead and buy the potion of agility, just for an extra buff. We'll buy the potion of haste. And we have evocable in Viz, so I don't think I need that. Which I haven't been using, and I should use that more. I just haven't really needed it. Alright, so Merfolk Impaler, they're kind of like Naga Warriors. They tend to be like the tankier version of Merfolk, which is why in that specific case, I made sure I didn't fight him in water. Merfolk have a pretty innate advantage in water. They're not slowed down. They don't fumble their attacks. They don't have an accuracy penalty, anything like that. So we don't want to be fighting a fully buffed or a fully advantaged Merfolk Impaler while we are completely disadvantaged by being in water. Scroll of Enchant Weapon. We'll just go ahead and leave that there. I don't have anything that I want to enchant right now, so I don't feel like carrying the scroll around. If we do find another weapon, like a quick blade or something later on, we may come back to pick that up, but as of now, not necessary. We'll go ahead and come back here, bring the Manticore to us, just so it doesn't pin us out in the open. And another Merfolk Impaler. So like I mentioned, they basically just hit hard. 25 plus a Trident of Flaming. We don't have, we could put on our Ring of Fire, but I don't think it's necessary versus just one. Thank you for your net, good sir. And we're moving on to Shoals 4. Now this is where I'm going to slow down pretty considerably. It's very easy to get overwhelmed in Shoals 4. It usually, and it looks like this one's no different, it usually has a bunch of different like little vaults, each of which could be the Rune Vault. And each of which tends to have quite a few enemies waiting for you, and they're not easy. It'll have lots of impalers, it'll have, just nastiness. So, gonna take this, fairly easily. Okay, so an Aquamancer can do a couple of annoying things. Steam Ball blink, throw icicle. This primal wave ability can knock you back, and it'll also create water, which makes it harder for you to hit. Okay, so we have a Javelineer, and this is where Shoals can get super annoying. He has a Spear of Flaming, but a lot of times you'll get netted like in the middle of nowhere, or in the middle of a big field, and there'll be like 5 Javelineers just throwing things at you. Not a colossal deal for us because we have reflection, but absolutely something to think about. So as you can see, it is a quite large step up in difficulty. Is that Yuskiya doing that? Just hitting all of them for lots of damage? I think it is, because that's really nice. That's that Primal Wave ability. She knocked us back into a pool of water. Okay, so this is not great. I have yet to use Yuskiya's Stomp ability. It deals damage to everything adjacent to you, and it deals damage based on your invocations, which our invocations is 10. So I'm going to go ahead and try it here, just because we've taken a decent amount of damage. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And we're fumbling because we're in water. Sorry, moving around a bunch. Okay, so it looks like we've survived the initial onslaught, which in a lot of cases is the worst part. Now we have yet to find the quote-unquote end boss of Shoals. There isn't always one, but a lot of times... Hey, we've got the rune. I'm going to keep going because we're doing really well, but a lot of times you'll run into like a named unique like Ilsu. We haven't found that yet, which is great. Okay, we're mesmerized and I really want to try something. Can we mess with that with Wand of Flame? Doesn't look like it, but Wand of Flame does really good damage. And we'll pull this harpy back just because there are very likely to be more. We really don't need to be doing this because our gear is quite good and we already do have the rune, but this is going really well, so I think it's worth exploring. If we find like there's a couple things we could find that would be nice to have. Okay, so we've got an Impaler, a Sea Snake, a Cyclops, and 3 Merfolk. That's all fine. If we just go out of LOS, they'll have to come to us. We'll heal up with our regen. The Cyclops will run out of large rocks, and we're good. Oh, there's Polyphemus. Okay, so I have killed Polyphemus before. He can hit super hard, so we definitely want to be careful here. He can throw allies at us, which I think is just hysterical. So let's do this a little bit slowly. Though, to be completely honest, I'm not worried. Yeah, he went down like a chump. Did you just fall? Yeah. Nice. And we're barbed, so we'll go ahead and just bring the mana core back to us. Yiskia coming in like a champ with that paralyze. So, yeah, like I was saying, a lot of times these little fake vaults have decent gear in them. So, there is some gear we could use. Our gloves are amazing. Our boots are pretty good. We could use a helmet. We could use possibly a better cloak. An amulet for sure. Because what are we using for an amulet? Yeah, well, actually, we're using reflection. That is really good. But faith would be cool. Oh my goodness. The incunabulum of ice junk. We may also find a better weapon, though I rather doubt it. Okay, so there's a scroll of identify on the floor. We don't have anything to identify, so we'll just leave it. Merfolk Impaler. And I think that was saying we don't have room for flesh either, so we should probably make room for that. We'll drop our scrolls of amnesia. Don't think we're going to use those. Okay, so these things are super annoying. They throw these drowned soul things at you, and that avatar song mesmerizes you. Again, our MR is so high that it's not that big a deal, but they move faster than us when they're in the water like this, and so they can really easily just run away. Okay, so here's Mara. We're leaving because I find Mara in depths a lot, and she can be really vicious. She also has, what was that, a demon? Yeah, Demon Blade of Elec. I have no interest in dealing with that nonsense. She's made an illusion of us. She's tripled herself, so we are gone. We're going to call Shoals done. As well, this episode, we're going to call it a day. Thanks for watching.